Hello everybody, my name's Atley. Welcome back to my Satisfactory playthrough. This is episode 2. We're on update 7. This week it's gone from experimental into the normal early access build. So in the menu we're not in experimental anymore. We're now on the normal early access update 7 build. So picking up exactly where we left off, the only thing I've done is I've deleted in the middle here. You may remember I had a temporary constructor down just for doing biofuel. I've deleted that just because it had finished processing its stuff. And then, as I said I would do, I'd left this running for a couple of hours. So we've now got 3,000, nearly 4,000 iron plates in there, nearly 3,000 iron rods, over 7,000 screws. So we've got plenty of materials accumulated basically to allow us to get a bit of rapid progress. So although we didn't do too bad last time, but yeah, I want to race through some of these unlocks and get to some more interesting things. So the pace in these first couple of episodes will be a bit quicker than I would normally expect it to be. But we'll get through some stuff. So let's just make sure I've got a bit of space. And then we'll work out what we're going to do next. So I think the first one, we will get through quite a lot of these fairly quickly. But the first one I'm going to unlock is foundations. Base building. It will allow me to start laying factories out a little bit more sensibly. So that's the first red button press of the episode.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
So that's just unlocked foundation blocks and walls. So square blocks, ramps, walls, and then the other thing that's quite useful, I'll stick this over here because occasionally it's useful to have a aerial view of your factory. You can just stick down a observation tower, which is quite a tall platform, and then climb up the ladder. It's useful for all kinds of things, but basically lets you have a bit of a bird's eye view of your factory. So that's the first thing we've done. A little bit of damage for falling off this probably, yeah. And then that's the first milestone. What that's done is it's given me these foundation blocks, which I can put down pretty much anywhere I want. If I press control, it snaps them to a world grid, which I tend to like doing because if I then build somewhere else, I could join, I could build over there, and then by using the world grid, that will align with anything I've already built, rather than just having it so it's difficult to get things to line up properly. So yeah, that's a few foundations down in world grid, and there are things already back. So let's just, a couple of things I want to do fairly early on with this episode to get started. The next one I'm going to unlock will be parts assembly. The reason for parts assembly is it gives me a new variant of the constructor called the assembler that takes 2 inputs. That will allow me to automate things like reinforced iron plate. We got loads of copper and wire, that's good. I'll take a bit more of all of them basically. Just stock up on a bit of everything. There we go, that should do us. We'll get this one unlocked and then we'll think about putting down some assemblers to start processing. Second big red button of the episode.
Milestone reached. More complex assembly of parts can now be automated. Project assembly parts can now be constructed and sent up via the space elevator. Note: project parts are too complex to produce by hand.
Project parts, space elevator stuff we may get to in this episode. We'll see how we do. I'm going to build the bigger variant of these. How am I going to do this? How shall I do this? I want to I kind of want those boxes moved, really. I'm not going to move all of the machines just yet. At some point, all of these machines will get moved. I'm not doing it yet. So I just need to give myself a bit of a platform to work off. I might move those boxes temporarily. If I build that centered. Nope. That's good enough. Actually, I'll just butt them right up tight anyway. So for now, temporarily, I am going to delete the plate box. That leaves a little crate because I haven't got enough inventory space to move them all. I'll do them in the same order. So plates on this side. Deleting the box gives you all of the materials that was in that box. And then the excess gets put into this crate. And I'm moving these to give me some room to put down temporary assemblers. Move the rods to the middle. And then move the screws to that last one. I'm doing it manually just because it's quick. And hopefully you'll see in a sec why I'm doing it this way. I've got plenty of materials here. Let's just take out a couple of each. So I've got working materials. What do I need to build assemblers? So an assembler is a variant of a constructor. So I can access it through the E wheel to change the recipe to an assembler. And then I need rotors and reinforced iron plates. So let's just make some of those manually for now. And then the recipes, you can see there, rods and screws, or plates and screws. One too early. We're going to come over here. And I will put these on a platform for now. Just so it looks a little bit organized. So my first assembler can go. So the first one, well, I'll just do it. I'll do it this way. That'll be good enough. Is that overhanging or is that on? It's overhanging slightly. It's all temporary. I'm not into like final build by any stage. And just get it as neat as a little bit neat. So I want to do this is rods. That's screws. So this can be rotors. We'll select the recipe rotors, rods and screws, and then we'll take a belt from here into there, and another belt, which I'm going to want to put a splitter on for the screws, so that's fine. Plenty of room there for me to put a splitter on those screws. And then this, when I give it power, power pole down to there for now. That one will now be producing rotors for me. And then we'll do another one alongside it. Nice and tight, just do them in snug. And then this one, we'll do reinforced iron plates. That's got plates coming in that side. And then I'm going to put a splitter on there. I'll put a lift off the side of the splitter. And then I'm going to do an ugly belt down into there. So that, therefore the screw supply is now being split two ways to feed both of those assemblers. Now the other recipes that I've got that can deal with assemblers is modular frames, which needs the reinforced iron plates, which I've only just automated, and then smart plating, which requires reinforced iron plates and rotors, but is a special thing that I only need 50 of them. So I'm just going to let that run now, because that is going to produce for me. Oh, let's get some power to it. It's going to get too cocky there. So they're going to produce for me, admittedly slow because they're not full. Maybe I'll fill that manually. And every now and then I'll drop by and fill these manually. Just fill that gap in. This is still all temporary, by the way. I'm not claiming by any stretch that this is a tidy factory yet. Get myself topped up with basic building materials. But that's now given me some level of automation for those two materials. Let's just... There's a lot in there, isn't there? I managed to pick all of that up? Yes, I did. So I'm going to do now, having moved that one out of the way for a sec, is bring this through, put a storage box about there. And then that belt can come up to here. Just starts looking a little bit neater. And then if I do another couple of storage boxes alongside it, we can do one of these into that one, and then another one into this one. Nope. Nope. Clipping that pole a little bit. Just to show I do know how to do a straight conveyor. I just haven't bothered yet. So therefore we've got rotors and plates coming into these two boxes next to the concrete. And then I'm starting to get a little bit of a working area. And I need to tear down all of this at some point and lay it out on foundations properly. But that is not an urgent goal. The most important thing is I'm now starting to accumulate rotors and reinforced iron plates. Next goal. What should we do? Is there anything I particularly care about here? No, I think I'll finish tier 1. So field research. I've already got the right materials for it. 1, 2, 3, go.
Milestone reached. The molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, will allow R&D to provide new technologies, items, and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note, the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects. The map has been unlocked.
Thank you, Ada. Much appreciated. So what I've just done there, moved my hub. Or removed my hub, more like. Let's move this pole. This is going to shut everything down temporarily. Put a pole there. And then we'll have that connected to there. And that one back to there. And then I can... Oh, need more plate. Go for it fast. One of my power grids has shut down. Why? Capacity. Oh, because I got rid of my hub. Let's get the hub back. The hub had burners on it, didn't it? I just want to put the hub on the platform just because it will look neater. Not really, not necessary really, but just personal aesthetics. It will look a little bit neater. So let's get the hub back. Special building hub. And we'll do it about there. And then production, get my workshop back on the back of it. Then we'll re-establish these two and put some biofuel back into them. And switch the power back on. That should be enough, but I will have to do something about power quite soon. But that gives me enough capacity to not trip my meters out. So it's back already. We may as well send it again. I'm kind of racing through some of these, but I'm doing the ones that don't require special materials. So resource sink. This gives us a lot to think about in the next few minutes, because we've just unlocked 2 buildings from 2 different unlocks.
Milestone reached. You have been given early access to the Anti-Waste Effort for Stress Testing of Materials on Exoplanets bonus program. Funneling parts into the awesome resource sink, depending on their amount and complexity, will grant you coupons in the awesome store, which can be exchanged for bonus rewards. Examples of bonus content are parts, walls, factory attachments, and cosmetics. Fixit is working hard to develop additional options, which will be added to the awesome store in the future. Go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
Right. So what they've done there is unlocked the previous one on tier 1 was this MAM, molecular analysis machine, and then the other one was the awesome sink, which is a really long acronym. But basically they allow you to unlock other ways, other things to build and other ways of building. So I'm going to put down a MAM first, for which I need 5 reinforced iron plates. Take all of those. And we'll stick the MAM here at the back, because it's nice and easy to get to at the back door. And this is basically a research tree thing. So I've got hog parts, where I killed them in the first episode. And that unlocked the ability to build this DNA thing, so I could now research that if I want to. I have not got enough. Yeah, so I need to craft these things, which got unlocked up there. I've got Hatcher Research available. That's the blue ball with the bees that we unlocked in the last one. We've also got Plasma Spitter
New recipe unlocked.
available. Research that. This one is spider innards, and I know where there are spiders, but I haven't been brave enough to go and get them yet, so we'll worry about them another time. But that is basically, this is an alternate unlock tree, and it is worth doing, definitely. So I haven't got any beryl nuts on me. I've got these pale berries.
New
I've
object
got,
added to the object scanner.
and I have got shrooms.
New research available in the MAM.
And I've almost certainly got nuts in here. I want to get all of this stuff back out really, but so we'll do the nuts one as well. And then there are some that's locked because it requires me to use steel pipes, which I haven't unlocked the ability to make those yet. And then there's another line here for this power shard. And power shards from slugs are used to overclock your factory, so they're really useful. And then here, actually I do have enough to do that one. That allows me to scan for them. And then this one, I need to find another slug to make a shard, and then I can unlock overclocking. The yellow, I haven't picked up any yellow slugs yet. And then there are other metals and materials that I haven't picked up yet. There are also hard drives for research. So that's as much research as I can do for now. So we'll put our kind of researchable stuff back in here. It's not useful to me right away. And there is my drone coming back. And although this isn't tidy, you can already see that by using foundations you end up with it being a lot more regular and organized. Is there anything else that I could unlock? So I need rotors for that one. I need reinforced iron plates for that one. And then I need to do the space elevator for that one. Space elevator. We haven't spoken about the space elevator yet. It is one of the coolest features of this game. It is massive. And I am again going to build it temporarily. Space elevator. Add it to my to-do list. In order to build it, I need more rods and wire. And then I've got enough to build it. But while I'm here, pick up chainsaw fuel. Got enough cable. Yeah, I'll do for now. So, the space elevator. It's so big, it's difficult to know where to build it. Mahoosive. But I think I'll put it temporarily down here. And we'll sit and watch the animation for a moment while it's building. It is massive. The build animation for it's really cool. So, as space elevators should, it is connecting to whatever station or ship or whatever it is that's up in orbit above the planet. Presumably the place that my drone is going off to. But it sends down this platform on a space elevator. And then special materials, which is what the Ada dialogue refers to as project parts, get sent up on the space elevator rather than on the drone. And it is cool beans. I really like it. I could go down and get rid of all of the spawner that's spawned inside it, but that's not a problem. What I'm going to do there is bring that up to here, and then I'm going to put a storage box. Doesn't need power, space elevator. You don't need to power it. It's just a thing. And then I'll put a belt into there from the storage box. So now the space elevator requires certain parts, and it's telling me there it needs 50 smart plate. And when I've got those 50 smart plate, I can stick them in this box. They'll get fed into the space elevator, and I'll have to run down there and do the animation thing, but we'll do that in a little bit. So we now know we've got a target of building 50 smart plate. Now the recipe for smart plate is 1 reinforced iron plate, 1 rotor makes 1 smart plate. So we'll need another assembler. This one doesn't need storage boxes or anything to feed it. It just needs power, because I can select the recipe and I could manually then put in 50 reinforced iron plate, 50 rotors, and that would churn away and make me some smart plating. But we're gonna leave that running for a bit and do something else. Because the point is that it's all running. It's all creating goods for me. So here I've got 56, but I haven't got enough rotors. So I'll just leave it running, because it doesn't matter if it's slow. It's just time. But I've always got something else I can be getting on with. So I never worry about time, particularly. I just walk a dog for an hour, and when you come back, you'll have a load of stuff in the box ready to go. So it's not a time, you know, it's a game where time isn't critical to me. One thing I didn't notice while we were doing some of those unlocked, the game has given me an extra hand slot. So I can stick the chainsaw now in my effectively another slot, and then using the mouse wheel and just wheel between them. So I'm going to do some clearance here. Let's just have a look. I've got plenty of inventory space for a minute. And we're going to build something else while we're waiting for the assemblers to accumulate enough materials for us to do the next unlocks. And my goal today is to get to the point that in the next episode I can do some coal power, so that so I don't have to do this for fuel. And then any biofuel that I use will be as a reserve rather than as a main source of energy. That's my goal anyway. So we're going to build something down here, but it is related to the biofuel. So I need foundations. Align them to the world. And run them that way a bit. Right, does this one clip too much? Nope, that's not too bad. We've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do them until they clip. Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll run another one across the front the same. We'll do 3 lines of them basically. Give ourselves a working platform down here. I want to run walls down the back so I can get a decent view of clipping. And then we're going to build some new biomass burners. Power. The yellow means that it's a soft clip going on, but I don't mind it because when you look at it, it's kind of, it's close, but it's not quite touching. It's close enough for me anyway. Now I'm going to put one, two, three. Five for now on that side, but then I'm gonna, yeah, 5 for now. No, let's do 6. Let's call it 6. Right, so 6 of those will do power every pair. Hook them up. Daisy chain the power poles. That wasn't what I meant. And then this one can connect to the grid. So now I'm on the grid, but I haven't put any fuel in them yet. Let's put let's just do 100 or so in the first 3. And now the grid has got more capacity. And because I've just activated 3 of them, I can delete these 3. Didn't leave me a crate, that's good. And deleting those 3 has given me their fuel. So now whatever fuel I've got left, put 100 in each. I'll have to do more fuel, but at least this way I've still got enough for chainsaws. And I've now got 6 here producing me 220 megawatts, and that includes the 2 that are on the hub. But I don't actually need those. Oh, missed it. Don't actually need the ones on the hub, do I now? Because I've got enough capacity for now to do them here. And I'll put another line of 6 down this other side. So we'll have quite a bit of capacity of biomass. So the next thing is I'm going to build the wall up there. And then I'm going to put some more foundation blocks off the back of these walls. To here. One thing about this game, it doesn't do, there's no sort of structural integrity to it. So it doesn't mind that was hanging in the air. But I do tend to try and make it look somewhat realistic. Oh, hello. Picking a fight with me, are you? Thanks for that. Woke me up, didn't it? So yeah, I tend to make them, try to make my build look like it would work. So I'll do foundations down to the ground, even if technically they're not needed. Then that gives me another little platform. What we're going to do with this platform is we'll have a storage box down here. With a lift coming up there. Yep, I'll do. That's the right height. So what am I going to build here? I am going to build a constructor off the center line that will do the belt to this one. You go back to, you then get a nice neat right angle belt. And this belt can then do my solid biofuel. And then before that, another pair of constructors that will do biomass from leaves and biomass from wood, so that I don't have to handcraft it on the bench anymore. And then on this side, I'll join that up again. Let's have another line of on this side we want a merger and all I need to do now is power it up and probably put a couple of boxes on this side, one for leaves, one for, yeah, let's do that. So power for now. I'm a little bit tight in this area now, aren't I? So to resolve that, I'm going to get rid of that. Have another one there that connects down to my little copper works and back to here. Hasn't helped me, has it? Yes, it does. And then that gives me a line from here to bring there through the middle to here. That one can be powered. That one can be powered. That one can be powered. And we've now got a little biofuel setup running where let's get some boxes. And I haven't got any leaves or wood left, but leaves on the left, wood on the right, and when that's finished I'll be able to just run down here, come to this box on the end and get biofuel out, which is just starting to come down the lift. Yeah, that works so far. So that's just a little job that starts making life a bit easier for me. And it's a good thing to get done while I'm waiting for these units to build me enough rotors. Rotors are pretty slow. They're my bottleneck at the moment then. Get rid of that limestone, don't need to keep that. How am I doing for goods? Yeah, rotors are my bottleneck. I wonder if I... got plenty of screws and rods. Let's just go and make sure that it's full, because it might be that it's being starved because it's not being fed fast enough. Yeah, so it's bottlenecking on screws at the moment. And I'm splitting screws 2 ways. And they're both bottlenecking on screws. So really what I want is more screw production. Now one thing I haven't done here is boost my utilization of this. So on the other line I split the ore into 2 smelters. Let's do that for this line. I think I'm going to take that out. We take that splitter out as well. And then now I need to get... basically need to create a supply of screws into here. So that the rotors one can get a better feed. Actually want to take that and do this a bit smarter by using my foundations. And that gives me a bit more room to get. So I've basically got to get 2 constructors. And you can put things in fairly tight to each other. It doesn't have to. I was doing more space between them to allow for putting splitters in, but I don't need to at the moment. So this one rods, this one screws. Give them both power. And then another lift on this side. And we've got an overhead conveyor that will take those screws output straight in, and then we've just doubled our capacity of screws, but it means that we're not splitting the screws that are going into these rotors. So hopefully it'll keep up better. Not necessarily keep up entirely. I'll still manually put extra supply. We're keeping up with our production at the moment of iron plates, and we're keeping up with rods. So it was only screws that were bottlenecking. Hopefully that'll speed things up a bit. Probably should have done that before going off and doing the biomass, but there you go. I can actually get rid of that, can I? Thinking about it. If I do, again, temporary here and put my assembler for making smart plating. I put it here and give it power. Smart plate recipe. I've got 27 at the moment. I'm just going to handcraft some rotors while I'm waiting for that to catch up, because I don't really want to just pause the recording for a minute. I'm fine with handcrafting if it's for an unlock. Right, that's 50 of each. So therefore, that is now going to supply eventually 50 smart plating, which I can now cable straight up to the space elevator and let that run. And my objectives for this episode now are more rotors. I can almost do, I only need 2 more. I'm going to unlock Mark II logistics. That's my next milestone. And I need 2 more reinforced iron plates for that. Which by now I'm sure I've got. Yes, I have. And that lets me do another red button. And Mark II logistics.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
So this belt is a Mark I. The Mark I belt only runs 60 units per minute. The Mark II does 120 units per minute. And I think the highest belts you can get are 780 units per minute. So pretty damn quick. So that is everything set up to then unlock both the space elevator and the final tier 1 and 2 item. So although I can't put anything in it because the cargo pod is away, I am going to just run that. And then while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to run around and do a bit of deforestation while we let things build. And I'm going to jump cut in the interest of the duration of the episode. I'll jump cut until we're ready to hand in those last couple of things. So I will see you guys in a minute. Right, I've done a bit of running around and collected up a bunch of wood and leaves that are currently busily being turned into biofuel. So we've now got a decent supply of solid biofuel being put into a box down here, which once it's finished processing will let me fill up the generators. And then I've now got enough rotors. Let's grab a few more, but I've got 62. So I've got enough rotors to do the final, I think the final milestone of the sort of main tier 1 and tier 2. Jump pads.
Milestone reached. Several buildings aimed at factory traversal can now be accessed in the build menu. Caution is recommended during use of these products.
So that's tier 1 and tier 2 completely finished. Now tier 3, you need to do the space elevator to unlock. And the space elevator is currently at 36 out of 50. So that's producing smart plating. And we'll take a few more minutes to finish. But while it's doing that, everything else is just running. Let's just have a little look at what category would it be in? Organization. Special? No. Transport. I've forgotten how these work basically, so let's have a quick look. Let's give it power. Seems to want power. And then what happens? I know it throws me in the air. I haven't gotten it to that point. I don't know the trajectories. Ooh, that's a bit of a thing, isn't it? Took a bit of damage off that. Where would it throw me if I didn't interfere with it? On top of the... Hey, that's quite cool. Maybe I can try to ride into space in the drone. But as well as the pad, it also lets you build a strange jelly landing pad, which needs biomass. All right, I'm not going to bother with that. I don't want to mess with it. So basically, this is a way of getting around factories, but frankly, I've never used it. I don't see the point in it. There's better ways that we unlock pretty soon. You can potentially use it to get up the floors, but I'd rather use a ladder or build stairs or ramps. So yeah, bit of a gimmicky one for me, that one. I don't bother with that one too much. But we've unlocked it anyway, and the point is that now allows us to, once we do the space elevator, move on to the next phase. Now, something else I did while I was waiting is I've put another empty box on top with a lift so that the copper can run, because I need to do something with the copper, and I didn't want to do it off cam, so let's just do it now. We've got another recipe that we got actually early on in the episode with the assembler. So I'm going to change this recipe to copper sheet and put those ingots back in, destroy those two. And now, instead of wire, this one is going to produce sheet. And sheet is needed for pipe work. But what that means is we now don't have any wire going into the belt. So I am going to see if I can fit a splitter in here. I've got loads of wire and cable up at the base, so it's not a thing I'm massively worried about. I just want to get a trickle of it, so I don't mind slowing down the cable production to put a little bit. And then this belt is now a three-way belt of wire, cable and copper sheet, all going up to that box at the base. Just while I'm here, going to get rid of this.
Your contract legally compels you to harvest this artifact.
I'm ignoring you, fake Ada. You don't have control of me. Right, we're nearly ready for the space elevator. There's only 3 left. I chopped down loads of trees while I was waiting for the smart plate to be ready. 1 more to go. There we go. White tick in the top right hand corner says that we've done 50 out of 50. So we've got all of the smart plating required. We seal it into a box and then we send it up the space elevator, which is one of the coolest things this game's got. That platform carrying our box, boom, off it goes. And that has changed our objective in the top right of the screen to be 500 smart plating, and then 500 of a new unit and 100 of another new unit. So there's new things that we have to learn how to craft and build. And that is not going to be next episode. I'm not going to do that for a little while, because I've got now to get back up to my base. What that's done for me in the hub, excuse me, stuck in the MAM, is this has now unlocked tiers 3 and 4. And the one I want to work on first is coal. So what I'm hoping in the next episode is that we will build a coal powered generator station, and that will replace the biomass as our primary means of energy. Now these coal generators consume coal plus water to produce electricity, and that electricity we can then use to run our grid. So that's going to be the thing we do at the start of the next episode. But for now, I am going to wrap this episode here. I will do the same as I did at the end of the episode 1, which is to leave this running to fill these boxes up as much as I can. And then we'll have plenty of resources to go off and do some coal power, hopefully. The last thing I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to take down everything related to the space elevator, because I don't need it for quite a while. So I just don't want it hanging off the back of the base there. And one of the reasons for that, there's a couple of iron nodes down there that I'll probably make a factory out of. So I'll leave this spaghetti mess as it is for now, but I want to do coal before I do anything else so that we can scale up. So I'm going to wrap this episode here. We've got quite a lot done today. Tiers 1 and 2 finished. Space elevator finished for the first project part. And now we're ready to unlock coal and get some coal generation done in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope to see you in episode 3. But in the meantime, thanks and goodbye.